Texas Giant. On April 11, 2013, Rosie Esparza, age 52, visited Six Flags Over Texas with her family. One of the rides she chose that day was the Texas Giant, a hybrid steelwood roller coaster that had recently reopened after extensive renovations. The Texas Giant reached speeds of 65 miles per hour and featured steep drops, sharp turns, and strong lateral forces. Unlike older designs, the ride used lap bar restraints rather than over-the-shoulder harnesses. The restraint system was intended to secure riders at the waist while allowing upper body movement. Esparza was seated in the front row of the train. Ride operators performed routine checks and confirmed restraints before dispatch. The train climbed the lift hill and reached the crest of the first drop. As the coaster descended, riders experienced strong downward forces. Esparza's body lifted upward in her seat as the train accelerated through the drop. The train continued into the next section of track. As it entered a high-speed banking turn, Esparza's position shifted further upward. She was ejected from the car and fell approximately 75 feet, striking structural support beams before landing beneath the track. Park staff shut down the ride immediately and contacted emergency services. Esparza sustained severe injuries and was transported for medical treatment. She was later pronounced dead as a result of those injuries. Following the incident, the Texas Giant was closed for investigation. The ride reopened only after modifications were made to the restraint system. The Batman. On June 28, 2008, Asia Lean Ferguson, age 17, visited Six Flags Over Georgia with his family and a church group. One of the rides he boarded was the Batman, an inverted roller coaster. The Batman featured suspended seats with riders' legs hanging freely below the track. The coaster reached speeds of 50 miles per hour and ran multiple loops and sharp turns. During the ride, Ferguson's hat came off and landed in a restricted area beneath the track. After the train returned to the station and passengers exited, he decided to retrieve it. The area below the coaster was marked as off-limits. Two 6-foot fences separated guests from the track zone. Ferguson climbed over both barriers to reach the area where the hat had fallen. As he searched beneath the track, another train was dispatched. The coaster approached at full speed, its rider's legs hanging directly above the restricted zone. Ferguson attempted to move out of the area as the train passed overhead. He was struck by a rider's foot as the train crossed above him. The impact was immediate. Ferguson was decapitated at the scene. Witnesses nearby saw the collision occur. The ride was temporarily closed and reopened the following day. Additional fencing and warning signs were installed around restricted areas. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. On September 5, 2003, Mark Hodges, age 22, was working an overnight maintenance shift at Disneyland in California. He was assigned to inspect Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, a high-speed mine train roller coaster. Big Thunder Mountain reached speeds of approximately 36 miles per hour and traveled through outdoor sections, tunnels, and enclosed areas built into artificial rock structures. The ride operated continuously during park hours and was shut down at night for inspection and maintenance. Maintenance procedures required the ride to be fully powered down before workers entered restricted areas near the track. Lockout systems and communication protocols were in place to prevent trains from being dispatched while maintenance personnel were present. During the early morning hours, Hodges accessed the track area inside one of the ride's tunnels. At some point, the ride was reactivated while he remained inside the restricted zone. A fully loaded train was dispatched from the station. As it traveled through the course, it entered the tunnel at normal operating speed. Hodges was unable to clear the track in time. The train struck him and pinned him between the car and the tunnel structure. Ride operators stopped the attraction immediately after the impact. Emergency responders were called to the scene and freed Hodges from the tunnel. He was transported to a nearby hospital with severe internal injuries. Hodges later died as a result of those injuries. Following the incident, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was closed. Disneyland reviewed its maintenance safety procedures and revised lockout and communication protocols before reopening the ride. Scenic Railway. On July 19, 2009, Matthew Williams, age 21, was working a morning shift at Luna Park in Melbourne, Australia. He was an experienced ride operator assigned to the Scenic Railway, one of the world's oldest operating wooden roller coasters. The park opened under normal conditions. The Scenic Railway ran continuous cycles with full trains of passengers. Williams was stationed on the platform, monitoring trains as they entered and exited the station. The Scenic Railway reached speeds of approximately 37 miles per hour and featured exposed track sections. Operators were required to stand close to moving trains to observe wheel assemblies and braking behavior. The ride relied primarily on manual supervision rather than automated safety systems. During one cycle, a train approached the station at standard speed. Williams stood near the platform edge, watching the incoming cars. The distance between the train and the platform narrowed as the cars slowed. There was no physical barrier separating the operator's position from the moving train. As the front car entered the station, Williams shifted his position slightly. Witnesses saw him lose balance as the train passed. He fell toward the track as the cars continued moving forward. The train was stopped moments later. Emergency crews were called immediately. Williams suffered critical injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. The ride was shut down following the incident. Investigators cited insufficient operator safety zones. Luna Park temporarily closed, and the scenic railway remained closed for months while safety modifications were made. Speed. On January 21, 2011, Vincenzo Amabile, age 26, visited Mirabilandia amusement park in Italy. He arrived with friends and decided to ride iSpeed, the park's high-speed launch roller coaster. iSpeed used a magnetic launch system to accelerate trains from 0 to 75 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. The ride featured steep hills, sharp turns, and sustained high-speed forces. Riders were seated individually and secured using lap bars combined with seatbelts. Amabile was seated in the front car of the train. Ride operators completed standard restraint checks before dispatch. The train was then positioned on the launch track. When the launch sequence began, the train accelerated rapidly forward. Witnesses later reported that Amabile's upper body appeared to lift slightly against the restraint during the initial acceleration. As the train climbed the first hill, the forces acting on riders increased. Amabile's posture shifted further upward as the train crested and entered the next section of track. The coaster then entered a high-speed turn. At that moment, Amabile's body rose higher in his seat. His upper body moved beyond the intended restraint position as the train continued through the course. During the ride, he struck part of the track structure. The train completed the circuit and returned to the station as normal. When attendants reached the front car, Amabile was unresponsive. Emergency services were called immediately. He was transported to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead from internal injuries. Following the incident, iSpeed was temporarily closed. Park officials conducted inspections of the restraint system before reopening the ride with additional safety checks in place. Steel Dragon 2000. On August 20, 2000, Shigeki Sakai, age 38, was performing maintenance work at Nagashima Spa Land in Japan. He was assigned to inspect Steel Dragon 2000, one of the tallest and fastest roller coasters in the world. Steel Dragon 2000 reached speeds of 95 miles per hour and rose more than 300 feet above the park. On the day of the incident, the coaster was not operating. Ride operations had been suspended due to worsening weather conditions moving into the area. Sakai was part of a maintenance crew working along sections of the track. The ride's structure consisted of large exposed steel supports and rails that extended high above the ground. Maintenance work required technicians to remain close to the track and support beams. As Sakai continued his inspection, weather conditions deteriorated further. Dark clouds formed overhead and wind conditions increased. While Sakai was positioned near the track, lightning struck the roller coaster's metal structure. The electrical current traveled through the steel framework of the ride. Sakai was struck while standing near the rail and collapsed immediately. Other workers in the area moved toward him and alerted park emergency services. Medical personnel arrived within minutes and attempted to provide assistance. Sakai sustained severe electrical injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Following the incident, Nagashima Spa Land reviewed its maintenance safety procedures. The park suspended all maintenance work during storms and revised weather monitoring and safety protocols for staff working on large metal ride structures.